Today I wanted to talk about the top 5 rivalries in Smash Ultimate. In my opinion, these are my favorite. This list is not going to be ordered. It's not like the first person I order is going to be worse than the 5th one I order. These are just my favorite rivalries as of 2024. Of course, there were a lot of amazing rivalries throughout Smash Ultimate's history, but these are my current top 5, starting with probably the most legendary one. But before I get into it, I want to mention that Metafy is doing a 30% off all lessons, all courses, everything right now. So if you want to get a lesson from me, whether it's 1 hour or 30 minutes, you want a VOD review, you want to play me at best of 5, first to 10, or you want to snag the Pikachu Deconstructed or become a member of my group weekly in-depth post of matchups or whatever the people in my group are talking about that they want me to cover, please consider joining the group, especially because there's the 30% off site-wide. So again, check it out. I would appreciate it. If not, let's get back to the first rivalry. Tweek versus MKLeo. I don't care how long it's been that this rivalry has been a thing. It is amazing. This dates all the way back to Smash 4, and it has been fantastic over the years. The two conflicting playstyles of Leo and Tweek. Tweek with his on and off, very defensive, very aggressive playstyle, and Leo, of course, the mid-range master. It is always fun to see these two go at it, and throughout their evolution of characters as well, it has been very fun. I really enjoyed when Leo played Byleth. I feel like obviously their Evo set stands out as one of the most legendary, right? But there was a couple other ones even that summer. SmashCon was a really good tournament, but then most recently I feel like that Summit that Leo almost reverse 3-0'd him with Byleth after going down 0-2 was just so fun to watch. Like the Byleth is really fun and actually does surprisingly not bad versus Diddy, even though Diddy does very well versus like every other sword character. So that was a lot of fun to watch, and even when it's Joker Diddy Kong, Joker Wario, Joker when it was Pokemon Trainer, they are all incredibly fun and I'm a huge fan. And for this data, I'm going to be using smashers.app, which again, relatively new website from the old PG Stats people, I'm pretty sure. So you should definitely go check this out if you are curious about the history of players, how often they've played, etc., etc. It is a very good tool. But yeah, this set record is 11-14 in Leo's favor, which is actually kind of crazy because if you look recently, Tweek has been on a hot streak, winning 6 of the last 6. He's been 6 straight. So it was 14-5 at some point, which to me is insane because it always felt so close. But again, I feel like Leo obviously won a lot of games. 5s like all the time. It was a lot of game 5s that Leo won. It's always been fun regardless of what the characters are. This has always been one of my favorite sets to watch. When it happens in a tournament or I see it projected in bracket, I'm just like, please both of you do well enough, please both of you do well enough to make it to each other, and then they do, and it's a very fun set. Again, recently Tweek has been winning more, but that doesn't mean that it's not exciting when they play. Obviously for a while they were considered the top 2 in North America and arguably top 2 in the world, and even though nowadays they are, still very highly ranked in North America, but definitely not like the uncontested 1 and 2. It is still a lot of fun to watch these, and I don't care how much impact these matches happen. If it happens in the round of 16, winners, quarterfinals, winning semis, I don't care. It doesn't have to be grand finals or winners finals, but either way, it has shaped a lot of the history, especially of North American Smash Ultimate, and it has just been absolutely fantastic to watch the whole time. This one's actually about the same in terms of impact, but we are going over to Japan, and we are going to be talking Miya and Acola. I know a lot of people don't like this matchup, Game & Watch versus Steve, but it is very emblematic of the new meta, or especially it was, last year when it really kicked into high gear. But Miya versus Acola, first off, their sets are just so close every time. I feel like every time they fight, it is game 5. Of course, for most of the time, these two are in winners grands and reset grands of like every tournament, right? There's true finals here, true finals, like winners finals, they played 3 times winners grands and true finals, grand finals and true finals, because I don't remember who beat Acola here, but I know he lost in winners and had to, beat Spargo in losers bracket. And then you see winners semis, grand finals, true finals, grand finals, losers finals of poor priority. Of course, the set record is 8-13 in Acola's favor, but at the same time, that was like pretty early on where Acola just got a huge lead, right? He started off like 7 or 8-1, and then since then it has been like 8-5 or 7-5 or something like that. So they are just been really good sets overall. I feel like these two, their last 5 are literally back and forth over and over again. Their last 6 actually. So yeah, it is just super fun to watch in my opinion. I love watching both of these players, and of course Game & Watch versus Steve is a very meta relevant matchup. I would say there are 2 of the top 3 characters. I think most people would say that Game & Watch is top 3 at this point, and obviously everyone has Steve in top 3. So yeah, I mean, this is just one of the most fun watches of all time. They have so much counterplay that levels up and levels up against each other, and it is just absolutely fantastic. This next one might come as a bit of a shock to people, but I love watching Light and Zomba play. I know a lot of people, when I say Light, expect me to say Mars or Spargo or something like that, but Light versus Zomba is, in my opinion, one of the most fun matches to watch. Both of them have an ego, justifiably, right? They're both amazing players. Both of their characters beat up the other character, and I really just like watching these sets because I feel like they always happen in very high stakes situations, and again, the counterplay that both characters are able to do is nothing short of fantastic. You obviously have a lot of rushdown when it comes to Fox, you have a bunch of crazy combos and edge guards when it comes to Zomba, and even though this isn't the most even rivalries, I still very much enjoy watching these 2 players duke it out, and again, both absolutely fantastic players, you know, both some of the best players in North America, so it is a really good time. It's very interesting because I consider like Light versus Mars, even though it is a rivalry, I for some reason just consider it really fun sets to watch, but recently Zerasuit is upsetting me because she sucks, so I don't like watching the sets because I'm like, wow, look at all the stuff Fox can do that Zerasuit can have to forward air it and hope that it hits. Whereas Fox is like God mode, so like it doesn't feel good watching the disparity of characters in my head for some reason. I don't really know. I've been on my Zerasuit Doomer stuff lately, even though if I play Mars I will lose to him, but like it hasn't been as fun to watch, whereas Fox and Rob are both God characters. It is 13-6 in Light's favor, and again, they don't play all that often. The last time they played was Wavelength this summer, then the Luminosity first Invitational, and I mean, if even in this like recent like 7, you go back to Cirque 2, which is quite some time ago. But again, we have a good amount of back and forth. We have a lot of Game 5s, right? I remember specifically the Shine Grand Finals was absolutely insane. One of the best sets I've literally ever watched. I mean, Light 3-1ing in Winners Finals. I love the Winners Finals, Grand Finals, True Finals, Game 5. It is just so amazing. Light coming out victorious there. Light often comes out victorious, again 13-6, but when Zomba does, it feels emphatic and it feels like this is what the matchup should be doing, and then otherwise Light is just trying his best to make it out of a bad matchups, and of course Light makes it out of a lot of bad matchups. I mean, he beats Miya pretty frequently now, so you know, it happens, but I really enjoy this rivalry. It is incredibly fun to watch. It is incredibly satisfying to watch Light beat up a character that's supposed to technically win the matchup, or you know, at the very least edgeguard him, and every time he gets hit he should die, and then it's very fun watching Fox get edgeguarded like he's supposed to, because no one edgeguards Light, and because his recoveries are fantastic, but Zomba is able to cover them so incredibly well. Again, a bunch of Game 5s, really fun ones to watch. If I recommend one of these sets, I would definitely recommend the Shine Grand Finals and True Finals. It is just a beautiful thing to watch. So yeah, that's going to be one of my top 5 rivalries, at least as of now. This all might change, you know, like as players develop and as things get better and players shift in and out of being super top players or not, maybe this will change, because again, I feel if you asked me 2 years ago, like Light versus Mars would absolutely be on this list. But then again, Zerasuit in my head just like kind of got depressing, so I don't like watching it as much, so that is why now it is Light versus Zomba. Keeping with the North American theme here, we are going to go with the new contemporary MKLeo versus Tweek, and we are going to be talking about Sonix versus Spargo. I know it's crazy to be like, oh my god, a Sonic is in one of your top 5 rivalries, but the storylines of Sonix versus Spargo are absolutely amazing. They were the 2 North American representatives of the 4 Horsemen era of last year. They are, of course, fantastic players, incredibly strong, and of course, if you can't respect Sonix adapting to the matchups that he struggles with, and then you don't respect Spargo picking up a bunch of characters to try to beat him, I don't know, man. It's crazy to me that you can't like that. I know Sonic is on the screen, but just like the concept of it is so sick. Not only has Spargo played Cloud and Aegis, which are his 2 normal characters that he plays a lot, but of course he went Corrin for a very long time, and now of course he goes Roy, so Sonix has to fight the craziest characters, all the craziest sword characters in this game, and he has to find a way to break them down in specifically a way that beats Spargo, because Spargo is of course in a league of his own when it comes to especially his Cloud, but just like his Aegis is one of the best in the world. I think it's him and Shutone are top 2, and then his Corrin and Roy are specifically built for anti-Sonic, which is super strange to deal with, because you're not fighting a normal character, you're fighting a character that is spec'd into your matchup, which is an entirely different ballgame, and then of course you still have to beat Spargo, and that's the same time, Sonix does it a lot. If you include their online sets, they have a staggering they have 97 sets against each other, which is insane because of the amount of times they've played at Coinbox and various online events, which to me is so crazy. That is insane to me. And either way, if you go to majors, they have still played 20 sets against each other, which is crazy because these players only really got relevant after the pandemic. So, 20 sets in approximately 3 years is still a lot of sets. Both of these players travel a ton, and it has been so crazy to watch. And you can literally see they're super back and forth. Even though Spargo's got the best of him recently with this Roy in grand finals of Supernova and then at the Luminosity Invitational 2, you do see Sonix had a 4-set winning streak right at Genesis, which I remember that set explicitly. Luminosity makes big moves this year, as well as running it back from losers in the Coinbox IRL at the end of last year. But then, of course, Spargo had a winning streak for a while with this Cloud and Aegis, but then Sonix seemingly figured out the Cloud, so then Spargo started to go Corin, and it started to work a little bit. But then, of course, he started going Roy, and Roy has been the answer recently, and I just love this back and forth. Of course, these are the two top players that you really think of when you think of North American Smash at this point. Sonix, the beacon of consistency, even though he loses to random one-offs, and then he'll beat their ass the next time he plays them. And then Spargo, of course, in my opinion, the #1 player in the world this season. So Sonix, of course, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, at least currently. He has won a couple majors, of course, but Spargo has definitely won more majors over him than vice versa. And I do believe this Coinbox IRL was actually the last time that Sonix won a major. He's still in that drought. He definitely does knock Spargo out of tournaments at 3rd, but then Spargo says, hey, here's a 13th for you, which is really, really crazy. But yeah, 12-8, surprisingly close given the skill and talent of these players, especially considering the fact that they've swung quite heavily. I mean, 5 straight here at some point, and you have 4 straight here for Sonix trying to answer back. So yeah, I love the adaptations of this rivalry. I love this gameplay. It is really, really impressive to watch. I feel like on Sonix's end, the most impressive was Gommel when he played. Yeah, this 3-1 in grand finals looked incredibly rough, but then, of course, the Roy has just been very fun to watch. In general, if I was going to go Spargo, I'd probably go grand finals to Supernova. You can skip game 1 because he goes Roy game 2, and it was 3-1 with the Roy. We've been treated to such good Smash Ultimate recently. I feel like people are really underrating how good this game is now because they watch either coin boxes and are like, oh my god, Sonic did it in grand finals, or just don't truly appreciate how crazy it is for Sonic to just do Sonix to do what he does as consistently as he does, and they don't respect it. They don't respect his name. I hate Sonic too. He's annoying, but I still respect it. And if you've been watching the Japanese scene recently, this won't be a surprise to you, but if you haven't, it would seem weird that Min versus Luigi would be in my top rivalries because that matchup seems horrible, but Doramigi and Raru have been at each other's throats, especially the past 8 or so months. They have been ruthless against each other, both of them going back and forth, winning majors and super majors over each other with some of the most intense grand and second set grand finals ever to exist in Smash Ultimate. You would think that Min just keeps Luigi out the entire time, but it is not that simple because Luigi has amazing hitboxes that can ping with the arms, and of course, Min has a struggling disadvantage. She struggles to get off of ledge, so when Luigi gets in, not only, of course, can he just 0 to death her because it's Luigi, but then, if you hit her off stage, the ledge trapping can be super intense, the juggling can be super intense, and Raru makes the most off of every single one of his hits, literally everywhere. Both of them, I think the majors and super majors that they have won have been over each other in grand finals, I think literally every time, and it is so impressive to watch both of these players just adapt and get better and improve over the course of their rivalry, and it is now becoming incredibly scary, as I know Raru, in my opinion, has ascended to a top 5 player, or 6th at worst, and Doramigi has had incredible wins, and even though he's not quite at the heights of Raru as consistently, mostly because he struggles when he comes to NA, at least relative to Raru's Supernova run, it is still a treat to watch. Of the tournaments they have played at multiple times, so winner side and then loser side, or winner side and then grand finals, the only one that one of them has beat each other twice is at Sumabato SP49, where Doramigi beat Raru in winners and grand finals, game 5 both times. Every other time it is a back and forth ping-ponging type of thing. I mean, this happened at Altcore, which literally happened this weekend, which is Raru's first super major win. Spoilers, I guess, sorry about that. But Doramigi won in grand finals set 1, and Raru won in true finals, which I actually really like the fact that people are saying true finals. I think it sounds better than grand final set 2. But then, yeah, you have, I think this is a Sumabato SP50. You have winners winner semis, Raru, grand finals, Doramigi, true finals, Raru. Again, Raru wins here. Min has won here, Doramigi victorious here. Doramigi knocks him out of a tournament. Raru knocks Doramigi into losers here. There's winner semis, Doramigi, losers finals, Doramigi. Like, they play so often, but a 7-7 rivalry. Look at this ping pong back and forth. It is absolutely fantastic. I love watching these two play. Again, a very unconventional matchup, really truly showing that you can win any matchup, / matchups aren't that bad. You can just touch a death characters, it doesn't matter. And some of these games are just so swingy. There will be a 3-stock on one side in game 1 and then a 3-stock literally on the other side in the next game, just because whoever gets their hits, like of course Doramigi, one of the best edge guarders in the world, the person who truly shows that Min's edge guarding is insane. Luigi with a little bit of a susceptible recovery, so he's able to edge guard that. And then of course Raru, kind of same thing, right? You know, Zares the tether and then spikes, or then gets a couple forward airs, keeps Doramigi in disadvantage, then into a 0 to death. That just happens with these two characters and these two players. They are so amazing, and it is one of my favorite things to watch, because you're just waiting for them to explode the entire time. If they're playing tight neutral, you're just like, okay, but like soon enough someone's just gonna die, right? Because they're gonna get hit at 30 and it doesn't matter either way, they're going to die. It is so fun to watch. You should really check out these sets if you have not. I'm actually going to analyze the grand finals and true finals of this probably for tomorrow's video, or it might be my tier list part 2. I'm not 100% sure just because I'm editing that. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. That's gonna be my 5 rivalries to watch in Smash Ultimate. Again, I know some unconventional picks were here, but let me know, what are your rivalries? Do you have any surprising players that you think have one of the best rivalries in the world? Let me know down below. And of course, while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and ring the bell. I would appreciate it. As always, social media and partner stuff is down below, and I will see you all next time. Peace.